Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're ready for the final couple of sessions of day one. The next session is a panel discussion on the value of a top mentor. Finding the right mentor can have a massive impact on your business, whether it's helping establish good business practices in the first place, understanding how to build a good work-life balance, or guidance in writing good business in those critical first few years. To help you navigate this, please join me in welcoming founder, director, broker and mentor of Quality Financial Group, Sue Hayter, and CEO of Hashing, Arun Maharaj. Welcome both. Thank you both for joining me today for this panel discussion. Sue, you were recently awarded the award of Mentor of the Year at the Women in Finance Broking Awards. So who better to ask, why is it necessary to have a mentor in broking in the first place?
Well, Annie, the Australian finance industry is highly regulated. Mortgage brokers need to be ASIC compliant and adhere to responsible lending rules in order to provide credit assistance, which is in the best interest of the customer and also not to disadvantage the customer. If the broker does not follow these regulations, they can be terminated from the industry. And that's a terrible thing. And so therefore, the new to industry brokers need to be looked after by an experienced mentor. And in my case, by sharing my knowledge, expertise, and experience, I'm able to empower the mentees to fulfill their dreams of being self-employed, self-sufficient business owners, and also ensuring that they recommend a home loan which is not unsuitable for the customer, and which also meets their individual needs and also has a good customer outcome. So that's a lot of things to do and to make sure that the mentee has in place. So how does the mentor effectively do this? Well, let me share a few things of what I do. So to assist new brokers into the industry, I authored my Quality Financial Group Mentoring Program, which was approved by the MFAA way back in 2014, and also the FBAA. Now, the program is continually updated by myself with proven processes and procedures. And it's mapped with ASIC compliance and is also supported by innovative technology. So new brokers in today's world have little knowledge how to operate successfully. And it doesn't matter where they get the home loan lead from. They must be able to convert the lead. Also, new brokers make mistakes, which cost the lenders millions of dollars to rework their applications. The brokers could also disadvantage the customers with their mistakes. And so to overcome this hurdle, I have ASIC compliance systems and processes. So to help the brokers, I developed the unique, innovative business-in-the-box home loan system. So each stage of the home loan process is customized with mapped best practice business processes for brokers to operate effectively and efficiently. Now, this suits mentees because they don't have the skill sets to map out their processes. It's also a massive time saver with automated workflows for them to follow. So, Annie, this is a really important factor as it guides mentees to comply with ASIC and compliance regulations. So this reduces the risks to their business and also protects the customers whilst delivering an excellent journey for them.
Thanks.
So also to continue.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thanks, Annie. So I just wanted to elaborate on that to say that the system is continually updated by myself in line with the changing finance environment. It delivers powerful results, helping brokers organize and submit loans. It forces the brokers to follow the best business processes which actually meet ASIC standards. So this also includes a step-by-step home loan process roadmap. Each home loan status change has best practice editable email templates to send out to the customer along with SMS. Each home loan status change also has compliance tasks, very, very important, and so that the broker can complete and therefore remain compliant. So the process is also mapped with responsible lending guidelines, and the broker notes are recorded and flow automatically into the file notes. So for the mentee, The results and benefits are good customer outcomes, the customer is not disadvantaged, and the broker is able to build their business with a solid, proven foundation.
Thanks for that, Sue. And that was a good overview, I think, of what Sue provides, and obviously the importance of having a compliant business, which if you listen to Peter White's session on the regulations and what's happening in 2021, you'll find out all about that as well. So do tune into that episode, that session too, if you haven't already, because that also provides you a great overview of what to expect in broking coming up. Arun, as well, obviously, as a CEO of Hashching, which is a mortgage broking platform, you also offer mentoring services through Hashching. What do you think is the real reason and sort of drive and necessity of having a mentor in broking?
Thanks, Annie. Look, just following on from what Sue said, there is a mandatory requirement of 2 years that a new-to-industry broker needs to go through, and I think Sue's covered that well. I just want to add a couple more things. There's a high risk of setting up new brokers have to set up a new business, and there always is a high risk when you set up a new business. And I think not having a mentor will not help you. So I think having a mentor to also guide you in your business processes, along with what Sue was saying, and secondly, it allows you to have a foundation. So within the industry and also setting up a business, a good mentor will set the foundation for you, and a strong foundation is a necessity because it will allow you to get out of your comfort zone. So when anyone comes into a new industry, you're comfortable with what you've done in your previous industry. So I think getting out of your comfort zone requires a mentor.
And I think this is really like the key, isn't it? Because whatever job you go into when you first start, you're always a little bit sort of floundering a little bit just to understand how things work practically, because you might have learned all the theory in the world, but when you actually have to start doing it, it seems a little bit daunting. So I definitely agree with you there. Having someone there to be able to help out with doing that is so invaluable, and it's so great that the mortgage broking industry does have that 2-year requirement where you've got a broker or a mentor working alongside you to help you in your first couple of years in the broking industry and make sure that you're able to learn as much as you can in the best sort of ways. So now we know exactly why you need a broker mentor or a mentor. What should you actually expect from your mentor? Now, Sue, it sounds like you've got a whole program for brokers there. What do you sort of deliver for brokers, and what can they expect from you?
Well, Annie, first and foremost, the mentor must demonstrate ethical behavior and must have a very high standard and understanding of compliance, so that they can guide the broker in the right way. I believe that's really, really important. The mentor should also have 100% support and be readily available to workshop home loan scenarios face-to-face, whether it be face-to-face or Zoom or in a workshop environment. So that's really big things that you should expect from your mentor. So what I'm going to say next is to the audience is, well, how is this achieved? Let me share with you a few of the things that I do. So I'll just start off with technology. And I'm sure Arun would be able to expand on this widely on the space that he has that offers mortgage brokers in today's world. So I advise brokers to use effective and innovative technology and global best practice solutions. For example, cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools. This enables the brokers to be mentored regardless of location. It enables brokers to learn and work efficiently. They remain asset compliant. It delivers a good, great customer journey. The customers are not disadvantaged. The security of customer data is really important, and therefore there are no email attachments because of the technology. And I'm sure Arun can elaborate on that and how good it is for no exposure of customer data, and that's really, really safe for the customers. The next topic I'd like to discuss is education discipline. And what do I mean by this? Well, I'll give you an example of what I do. My mentoring program is developed with ASIC standards, which are very high, as we all know, and not bank standards, which are lower. Now, I don't mean that in a negative way. No, not at all, because each lender has different credit policies. And remember, under NCCP, the broker is required to complete their due diligence and collect all the supporting documents from the applicants to satisfy responsible lending criteria. And I'll give you an example. First example, if the bank asks for one payslip, it's the broker's responsibility to collect more payslips to establish a proven overview of the applicant's employment income. The second example I can give you is if the lenders don't require 3 months bank statements for supporting documentation, then it doesn't mean that the brokers must not get this from the applicants. The brokers must request the bank statements from the applicants to prove their spending habits match the declared living expenses. And it also validates the applicants' salary credits, which are on their pay slips. So the result of all of this is the customer is not disadvantaged, and then they don't land up with an unaffordable debt. And it also eliminates a lot of fraud. So look for a mentor who will help you build and grow a good, solid customer base and teach you how to nurture them from lead generation, and I'm sure Arun can give you more information on that, to settlement and beyond, so that you can retain your customers and that they will love you. And finally, look for a mentor who is innovative and has fun and embraces the future, such as teaching the brokers how to have fun with inspiring marketing videos. So I've had a lot of fun this week, posting purposefully awkward, quirky, educational videos every day of the week on LinkedIn and Facebook, which actually advertise the new Broker Academy, this one that we're on right now. And yes, Arun, yes, you, I've mentioned you in one of them, telling the audience about your expertise in computer software technology.
Well, I'm sure many people tuning in today would have seen those already, and if you don't, then do check them out. But I think that's a great oversight and overview of what you do, Sue. And I think, even then what you were saying around having that sort of virtual touch point as well, given the fact that obviously Melbourne went through so much of the lockdown, and I know that you yourself are still in lockdown at the moment, and got sort of new restrictions around what you can and can't do, and it seems to be changing all the time. But obviously having that ability to be able to connect virtually, I think is an important part to mention, because a lot of brokers that are starting out in the industry, or people who are wanting to become brokers, might have a mentor in mind that might not live geographically close to them or be easily commutable distance. So being able to have that technology that you can deliver that mentoring opportunity remotely, I think is really key. And Arun, obviously at Hashing, that's a key part of, again, what the platform offers. But for you, what do you think brokers sort of using the Hashing mentoring service should expect, and what should they expect from a mentor more generally?
Sure, Annie. Look, at Hashing we have a product called Hash Mentor. And we have a virtual mentorship platform, and what that does is it looks outside of the traditional mentorship in broking, and the traditional is sort of transactional on loans. We tend to look at our brokers coming through and offer them an end-to-end solution. So basically what you should look for in a mentor, or what we believe you should look for in a mentor, is a mentor who can offer you that over and above the transactional value that they give you. Mm-hmm. So we support our brokers through our mentor platform in sales, in marketing, in processes, obviously generating more revenue for them through leads, and also conversion of leads. So the whole gambit is what I think you should try and look for in a mentor in today's day and age, using technology. I think it's very important that we do this. And what we try and do is make sure that we mentor the brokers so that they have an authority on a subject, and they're the expert in that field. And across the first 2 years, that's what's needed.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is the key part as well, is that it's not necessarily just about how you actually write a loan, because a lot of the time the mentors that you might have access to, you know, might be really busy brokers in themselves. They might be doing something else all the time. So you don't necessarily want to be using them just to be like, how do I actually lodge this loan? You kind of want to be using them for all the stuff that's the more tangible stuff, or the things that you really don't know how to do and can't look up or haven't yet been shown. So I think that's a really key point, that it's not just about writing the loan, it's also about all the other things that come with being a small business owner as well.
Correct.
When it comes to actually choosing a mentor though, this is a question we get asked so often at New Broker Academy, is saying, okay, I know I need a mentor and I've seen hundreds of people that offer the service, but I just don't know how to choose one. What sort of things should a broker look for when choosing a mentor for the first time? And Sue, I'm going to start with you for that, please.
Well, Annie, I suggest to look for a mentor who has key leadership and mentoring values, which are based on a foundation of honesty, integrity, and trust. This must be supported by habits of excellence, which are nurtured by a mutual respect for each other and translated into the business processes. A mentor should strive to maintain operational excellence, which results in excellent customer outcomes, and the customer is not disadvantaged. Now, if you're an immigrant to Australia, look for a mentor who understands the difficulties of starting out in a new country. So take me, for example. I wasn't born in Australia. When I arrived in Melbourne 20 years ago, I did not know one single person. In fact, I only knew 2 people in the whole of Australia. And, well, look at me now. It's been an amazing journey of hard work, believing in myself, and never giving up. And of course, that's an exciting story for another time. But my point is, look for a mentor who understands that if you're an immigrant to Australia. Also, look for a mentor who can offer you solid, tangible support. And here's an example of what I mean by this. The Quality Financial Group Online Resource Center is an online platform that I designed and built myself. So it's updated daily by myself. The broker has 24/7 access to it. It houses hundreds of educational tools and templates, marketing examples to help them stand out from the crowd, and I use this for training and support. So therefore, using these tools helps the brokers believe in themselves to become confident business owners and brokers. And therefore, this increases their turnover. So I'll just give you an example to support this. Cecile, a Filipino broker I mentor, is part of a very big church community. I educated her how to host small information sessions for her community. She holds events at her home with a big screen on the wall of her lounge. Obviously, this is pre-COVID. Her community look forward to these events and they bring food to share. And guess what? No cost is incurred. She's become a leader in her community, and she's had a massive increase in home loan, personal loan, and car loan submissions. And all of this information came from the Quality Financial Group Online Resource Center that they have access to. Now, going on from that, Annie, I would like to also talk about mental health support. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The Australian finance industry is highly regulated. Mortgage brokers need to be ASIC compliant and adhere to responsible lending rules in order to provide credit assistance. Mortgage broking is a serious, serious business, and it's extremely tough out there. So, Annie and Arun, how can a broker mentally survive the changing and challenging times of our financial environment without substantial mindset support to prevent depression and suicide? So fortunately, in Australia, we have a lot of help and resources to turn to. And so from my point of view, to support the brokers maintain a positive mindset, I use techniques such as emotional intelligence and NLP. Now, NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So I'm a qualified coach since 2010, and I really think I help the brokers and they benefit from this to maintain a positive outlook for themselves in their life, with their family, and their business. It helps them to find their purpose and a clear vision. It helps to successfully obtain and establish their goals and also overcome negative thoughts and decisions. It helps to establish good habits and behaviors. So many brokers need to believe in themselves to remain mentally strong so they can help themselves, their family, and customers while maintaining a healthy business and achieve a life that they love. So NLP is about observing changes in perception, responsible communication, and developing choices of responses or communication in any given situation. It works on the principle that everyone has all the resources they need to make positive changes in their own life. So in essence, it has elements of mindfulness to overcome anxiety and depression. And so therefore, by establishing good habits, by processing events in a positive way, this creates an internal, happy and motivated state. And in turn, rewiring the information that we process that comes from into our brains from the outside into positive thoughts.
Well, I think that aspect of the whole element of mentoring is something that we actually don't really talk about a lot, is the mental health aspect. So it's great to hear that you've been doing a lot of work in that area, Sue. And if you know Sue or seen any of her content, you'll know she's a very, very sort of keen supporter of creating positive content and keeping that sort of motivation out there. So I think that is a key point that many people might miss when they're choosing a mentor, is having that sort of support emotionally as well as the practicality, the practical side of things too. So having someone who you can talk to and rely on and have that emotional support too, I think is a really interesting point and one that probably doesn't get talked about a lot. So that's one to bear in mind. Arun, for you, when you're thinking about how brokers can select the right mentor for their business, what do you think they should be looking for? And I'm going to ask you again a second question on who did you have as mentors when you were starting your business? So first off, let's ask what brokers should look for when they're choosing one.
Thanks, Annie. Look, I think the obvious answer to this question is, they've got to be experienced and they've got to be accredited to the various bodies. So that's really a precursor to any mentor. But what I feel and what we feel is that whoever you choose as a mentor, you should have a good connection with. And I actually ranked at number one. But I think the connection that you have with the mentor is very important, given you're going to be with them for 2 years. And as a broker, you will feel that when you're speaking to the various mentors as to what's happening out there. I think the other thing that's important is the mentor holds you accountable for a lot of things, that they have the ability to push you to do things, because we can all tend to become lazy and not not do things. And a good mentor would hold you accountable.
Like a personal trainer, yeah.
Yeah, totally. And getting out of your comfort zone, I think, and moving you forward. We're so used to our comfort zone, and a mentor should have the ability to get you out of that, understand how you work, and really push that through. The other things that we get from people looking for mentors, they obviously have to be available, they're responsive, that you have to get back to you. They also need to make sure that, they believe in your success, that, it is, the focus is on the mentee and not the mentor, and they do want to make sure that you do the best.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I think people should look for.
And when you actually started out in business, did you have any mentors, like not even officially, but like informally, that you sort of relied on for business help? And what did you choose, or how did you consciously choose anyone for that sort of mentoring role?
Look, when I started in business, I had a couple of mentors. One was an industry expert in financial services, and he ran a pretty large bank in Australia, and I was lucky enough to work with him. And I think he showed me the ropes in terms of how the industry works. But in terms of starting your own business, getting a license, I did use a mentor. He was a professional coach, and really recommend him to everyone. But he did show me things I took for granted were not to be taken for granted. So we think setting up a company, having business plans, all of these are easy, and you can do it from Google. But when you have a professional mentor who can show what is the end game, what are you working towards, let's make everything go towards that, is important. And I think the best thing he taught me was outsource. So you're good at certain things, Arun, you're hopeless at others. So let's just give the others to people who can do it.
I wish I had that advice. I've always been slogging away at things I'm hopeless at for ages before anyone told me I should outsource. And I was like, brand new world for me now. But I do think that's interesting as well, talking about the fact that, we've been talking so much about mentors in a professional capacity, but not forgetting the fact that you can also just have role models in the industry that maybe you sort of rely on too. And this industry particularly is so open to sharing and supporting one another. The mortgage broking industry is a very, very warm and welcoming community with lots of brokers sharing their insights. For example, even on our podcast, Elite Broker, every week we've got leading brokers talking about how they got to where they are now and how they, learned the hard way, I think, a lot of the times, in overcoming some of the challenges when they first started. So I'm always amazed at how warm and supportive and welcoming brokers are across the industry. So I think just maybe thinking about, yes, you have to choose a professional mentor and one that has covered all those points that both Arun and Sue have mentioned, but also one that maybe might just work alongside you informally, or someone that you can call up and just pick their brain now and again. So we're talking about professional mentors in this capacity, really, and I just want to talk a little bit around what it actually costs, because it all sounds obviously brilliant having someone on speed dial to be able to help you with your business and talk about what you're doing, and as Sue mentioned, maybe having some of that sort of emotional connection as well. But what does it all cost at the end of the day? So Arun, from your sort of experience, what costs are associated with a mentor?
Thanks, Annie. Look, I think the MFAA have a recommended cost for mentors, and I can quote it here because it's there. They generally tend to charge around $550 a month over 2 years, and they might have some upfront charges, and some mentors may charge, depending on how much they do with you, like a commission split. So that generally is the costings. At Hashing, we've created a product called Hash Mentor. And what we're trying to do with that is we see a broker entering the industry as a new business, a small business, and they tend to have various costs to control. So our mentoring program is accredited with the MFAA and FBAA. It's over 2 years, and we have two sort of pricing models, Annie. We target the established brokers, brokers who've been there, done that for a couple of years. We offer them for $49 a month. A sort of service where they can call them accredited mentor and get help with any sort of scenarios that they need, or any business question that they might have.
Yep.
We also allow them to join a big Facebook and a chat group with peers, so they can all ask each other questions, and that's been very popular. So when people transition from a new broker to sort of being used to it, they tend to take this on, because you still do need a mentor post that. And in terms of a new to industry broker, we offer a mentorship for $250 a month, and we have no commission sharing. It's a virtual model, so our model is a bit different. It's kind of unique. There's a one-to-many model. We believe in group education, but you will have a one-to-one with your mentor, because there's certain requirements that have to be satisfied. So you can access all of that. You can call them for scenarios. You can talk about everything you want to talk about. The pricing is affordable for a new broker, and you get to meet a lot of peers with this the class structure, and we find it's been very popular.
Yeah.
And lastly, I think just in pricing, we are looking. What we found the last few months is, new brokers are calling to talk to a credit analyst. They're wanting, a lot of them call BDMs or credit support lines, and I think being new to the industry, sometimes you're not confident, and we are getting an internal credit offering on the platform where you can, talk to a credit agent effectively as a first stop, and all included in the price.
Okay. Well, it sounds like there are loads of different options there. I mean, as you mentioned, it could be commission splits, or it could be a flat fee, or it could be a different type of model. There are loads of different models out there. So do make sure you do your research first and establish what you want. You were mentioning there about the Facebook group. Is that a closed group on the Hashing portal? Yeah.
It is, yep.
Yeah.
It is.
I think that's also key, as well as having, a community to talk to, so that you're not like, yes, you've got your mentor, but you're not necessarily on your own. You've got someone there that you can talk to, and you've got a group of people you can bounce ideas off to. I love that idea. And Sue, for you, I mean, there are other types of models out there that you're aware of in the mentoring space?
Yes, there are. And yes, Arun, thank you for sharing your information. Some very, very valid points that you have put forward. And yes, I do believe there should be a cost to mentoring. I believe that both the broker and the mentor must have skin in the game. So in other words, the mentor's time and experience is valuable. And in my opinion, it is fair for the mentor to charge a monthly fee. It is the brokers who succeed and who understand this concept and are willing to believe in their mentor and in themselves and take massive action.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the same as with anything, isn't it? You can't necessarily expect free services.
Yeah. So I just want to also say that the mortgage brokers who are one-man bands and who work by themselves can have a very, very lonely experience. And to overcome this, I created a sense of belonging to the community by creating Quality Financial Group. We laugh and cry together, and the brokers have access to ongoing mentoring after 2 years with no monthly fees. I think that's really fair for them. And it's also important to mention that the right mentor invests an enormous amount of time and resources. And just remember, we all know that time is money. So that the mentors can keep up to date with everything in order to support the broker with a good service. So yes, I think a fee is validated.
Okay. And we've mentioned a little bit there, Sue, is one of your examples of how your sort of mentoring helped one of your brokers. Arun, I wonder if you've got any examples of sort of how having the right mentor can have an immediate impact on your business.
I do, Annie. There's a couple of examples. I want to talk about Dave. Dave was a new broker a few months ago, and he actually was very hungry. He actually wanted to learn. He opened himself to being coached and to be pushed out of his comfort zone. And within the first 3 months, he wrote $2.5 million of business, and he's doing well now. And it just shows that there is immediate results if you can be focused. He got some help with lead gens. He was proactive in growing his business. Then there was Minesh. Minesh wanted to go into self-employed clients. There's a lot to learn with these things, and he really applied himself. He was not in that space at all. He came from a totally different industry. He learned a lot about self-employed. SMSF is what his niche is now. He found his niche pretty quickly. And he's pushed himself. So that's quite
hard.
It is hard, and it's not as difficult as you thought once he got the right coaching. And Cherie is another example who focused on the sales process. She was really good in the second part of writing business, but she needed a pipeline, and she targeted a difficult community, and she did well putting that in place, and all through mentorship on our virtual mentor platform.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for sharing your insights with us today, and I hope you've all learned something new around how you can choose the right mentor and what a mentor can provide you. Do take a listen back to this episode again if you want to dig a little deeper into some of the points, and make sure you export your notes as well so that you can refer back to them at a later date. Also, make sure you answer the live feedback survey at the end of the session to go into the running to win a $500 prize from the FBAA and Buyer's Choice. And next up, we'll hear from our final partner, Buyer's Choice, so make sure to stick around.
Hashing is a one-stop shop. You have every need to succeed there. We're all about greatness. We want to give you tools, tech tools, we want to give you CRM, we want to give you leads, everything that you need for your business to succeed.
You need to have a backup system for all your customers' information.
We're not just about helping brokers writing more loans. We're really here to help them succeed.
There is no such thing as good enough. It has to be the best.
Australia's best pipeline management system.
If you want to change the world, be the change you seek.